And here we are spawning in the bottom left, in the blue. Representing himself and teamless heroes everywhere. Give it up for BYUN. And his opponents in the upper right. In the red, swiftly dispatching TY in his last series. He is, for Raise Your Edge Gaming, he is the Kingslayer. He is ZEST. One of the few men to walk the royal road and, more importantly, live to tell the tale. ZEST has been best for almost as long as StarCraft. Well, I'm not going to say for as long as StarCraft has been a thing, but for the most recent history of StarCraft, and even into those middle years, ZEST has been a dominant force, even if he does have his ups and his downs. This has been a fairly good year for him. He had those great builds that slew every Zerg in IM Kedivitz until Rogue found an answer in the finals. He's had a fairly decent GSL runs, and he has torn up the online competition, which in most years you might say, hey, that's a little bit of a side note. Really matters is the big tournaments, but this is a strange year. This is a COVID year. And online tournaments are just about as important as everything else. In fact, well, the amount of online tournaments we had this year is just nothing short of insane. I love every minute of it. It makes me so happy to see so much content come up on a daily basis, and to see all the different content creators go and, well, provide the and cover it, provide me pretty much so if it's any point of the day and there's StarCraft I want to watch, I have the opportunity to watch that StarCraft. So shout out to you, the StarCraft community. I love you, I love you, and I hope to never leave you. But now we should talk about this game. And we don't need to talk about this game, not yet. Standard openings coming from both sides here. Gate Cyber Expand coming in from ZEST. Reaper Expand coming in from BYUN. Or actually, was there... Sorry, Marine Expand coming from BYUN here as we go Marine into Reactor. Of course, this is just going to allow BYUN to get that factory just ever so slightly faster, which means he gets his medevacs ever so slightly faster. And that lets him turn on the aggression. Maybe just a little bit faster than normal. Have I said faster enough? Have I said faster enough times in the last 2 minutes? I don't believe I have. But hey, so it goes. We're just going to keep talking about things, because that's a fun time. Now ZEST going for a rather quick robo here in this game number 1. And this is interesting. So I've seen a fairly decent number of Protoss players do this, where they go and this has a couple different avenues. It's the one, it's just, I'm going to get a bunch of gateways, but this is what I was going to actually mention, and this is what's kind of exciting. I recently finished the Axon Xmas Cup as well, and we saw Nina do this a lot. ZEST is going into either Disruptor drops or Colossus drops. And seeing as it's ZEST, I don't think we're going to see Colossus drops. That very much is a Nina special. But we're going to see Speed Prism coming on in here. We're going to start to see some Disruptors come on out. And now the depths are going to look straightforward. Maybe knock off the SCVs off this bunker. I doubt it, but really the whole goal of everything here is to keep BYUN distracted, but more importantly, to shave off units, to make it so that there is just less anti-air by the time the War Prism shows up. And actually, wow, ZEST is going to shade on top of this. I don't know how I feel about that, but he will be able to get one SCV immediately, and the bunker will get delayed. And there we go. He's going to erase almost all the Marines from the field. So yeah, he's going to lose or trade 2 Adepts for that. But on the flip side, there is going to be nothing. Not really to deal with this Colossus drop. And actually, no, it will be a Colossus drop, not the Disruptors drop coming on in here for BYUN or for ZEST here in this game number 1. And this is not something you see ZEST do. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how much damage he's going to be able to make able to accomplish with this. I have seen incredibly effective Colossus drops, and I've seen Colossus drops that just kind of get ravened and die. Now, that's not going to be the story of this game, as we do not have a Raven done. We do not even have a Raven on the way, although there is a tech lab coming up on top of this starport rather soon. So there may be a Raven eventually, but eventually is not now, as now we do have, well, our 2 drops are going to pass each other in the middle of the map, as we do have 3 Widow Mines coming on into the main base of ZEST here. But there is a robo done. An Observer is on the way, and I'm surprised we don't have ZEST. Oh, actually, you don't really need a robo. Not against Widow Mines. Not anymore. So now the drops are going to go off. ZEST with the quick pull. Excuse me. Now, of course, the Colossus is on the other side. Two probes have gone down. The question is, how much damage is Zest going to be able to get done on the other side of the map? The Colossus is pretty much unchallenged here in this game. And yes, the Marines are trying to shoot what they can, but the Colossus, again, that's just killing off everything. And, well, there's more importantly even than things dying here is the fact that there is no mining in BYUN's base. Not really, not the main base, not for a while. And actually, though, BYUN getting a fairly decent amount of damage here. Two probes per Widowmine and only losing one of them. So, realistically, BYUN, he lost 7 SCVs and 11 Marines. ZEST lost 6 probes and a Stalker. I gotta say, I do believe I favor BYUN. I believe I favor BYUN here, but now actually ZEST needs to make sure he's not going to lose this, as the Viking does find things, and we should see a recall. There we go, recall on the Colossus. Colossus is not going to take too much damage from that. And then, of course, the War Prism, it is going to go home, but more than favoring one side or the other. Now, of course, this drop is going to be found, and the Stalkers are going to be here, and the Widowmine is just barely not going to go off. It's going to target down the Colossus. 4 probes go down, and look at the health on this Colossus here. 23 HP left. That is going to be a vulnerable Colossus when Zest tries to hold the inevitable push. That being said, now it's time for the Colossus to find its way on the map. And oh no, there's no recall here. And more importantly than that, look, the Viking is right here, right now. So we're going to see the War Prism go down. We're going to see the Colossus go down. Probably. Yeah, Zest with the micro. Okay. Okay, Zest, calm down. Now, the low HP Colossus and the low HP War Prism now going to find their way on into the main base, because while they still live, they can do damage here, and more importantly, they're just going to draw the army of Zest away from the front, which is of course where these Stalkers are. Do we have Blink? We do not. Looks like we have the landed Vikings going to go on in here and get so many probes. Vikings, of course, double shot probes, so there's so many die to this. And BYUN with a masterful, he's doing a really good job of this game. Yeah, he's taking damage on his own, but I feel like he is definitely given more than he has taken here, although he does have to be careful of this very low War Prism with a very low Colossus inside of us. Now Zest once again BYUN going for a drop. This time it's a BYUN, so it's not going to be as bursty, but it does have the potential for some more prolonged damage. So Zest just continues to rally Stalkers across the map. That's not something you see all that often. This double drop is going to try to find the third base. Of course, recall is not off cooldown for just about another 20-30 seconds. So Zest, his armies are across the map, and it's going to be rather difficult for him to get back here in time. And now BYUN, he's going to stim on top of this. At the very least, he's going to get a decent amount of probes here. The stim is good. The probes are just going to keep dying here as BYUN cuts them down with extreme prejudice. And GG, BYUN takes game number 1. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. But now, hey, BYUN with that 1-0 lead, striking back for his fellow horseman in TY here. And, well, what that means is BYUN has a 1-0 advantage in this best of 3 as we're looking to load on in to game number 2 on Oxide. And here we are, spawning in the upper right. In the blue, for himself and himself alone, it's BYUN. And in the bottom left, in the red, looking to claw his way back into this series and advance to the round of 4. Give it up for Zest. I always appreciate how unintentionally my intros are synced up with what I'm saying, so the circles move at the speed of how I'm talking. But that's okay. It's just natural nervous response here, or I guess neural response. Not implying that I'm nervous behind the camera. Of course, no one can see me. No one can see the face for radio and the voice for television. But it's all okay. Zest coming out here with the probe rather early on. And wait, Zest, was this a... No, it's not. Okay. For a second, I'm like, yes, was this an early pylon? Is Zest going for proxy stargates? But he's not. This is just a scouting probe at the normal timing. I don't get to be that excited about seeing broken plays. Although, I mean, this is Zest. I think well, I should say these are Zest and BYUN. Anything they do, they can make look extremely broken. As now here we do have the probes cycling around, and this probe is at pretty low HP, so Zest is just trying to see, really just trying to wait until the probe recovers its shields to make sure that it does survive, and yeah, I can't really support the volley. Once again, BYUN going for the same build. Marine first into the reactor, so he has enough Marines to maybe deal with early aggression, enough Marines to maybe do something early and aggressive on his own, and it gets a faster factory. So a triple whammy of efficiency. But on the flip side, you don't get to scout as much, you don't get as much map presence, you don't get as much map pressure, but when your opponent is Zest, it's kind of assumed that you're not going to get game-ending damage with your Reaper. Actually, it's kind of assumed you're not going to get any sort of damage at all, and if Zest allowed that to happen, you would consider it a massive faux pas. So, not really losing out on a lot outside of really early Reaper scouting, and the number of times you see the Reaper actually do something, provide some sort of information from that scout is, in all honesty, it kind of gets zoned out or gets killed before it gets anything too useful in this matchup. Now, in TVZ, of course, Reapers, they are far more useful. But now Zest opening up with a Twilight this game, most likely going to be the Blink build. But there are worlds where he goes for a Depths or Charge. Of course, those builds are a whole lot rarer, but these are opportunities, and I guess he could also go for Dark Templar as well, but there we have it. The Blink is on the way. By far the most standard. By far the most commonly used, the most effective, I'm going to say. I think that's a fair statement. Especially considering how often it is used. Now, of course, the Blink build is not nearly as punishing as it once was. This is not Yansu. This is not a map that is just all cliffs and a slower stim research timing. So we often see these Blink all-ins just killing each and every Terran. Not anymore, I guess, unless you're partying. Partying never has really stopped doing that. But no, this is going to be Blink. This is going to be 2-gate Blink. And there we go. Zest already taking his third base at 3 minutes and 41 seconds into this game. And BYUN looks like he's just going for that 5-6 Marine Widowmine medevac drop once again. Of course, this time he has more. Well, no, actually, never mind. This is going to be a triple medevac drop this time, as he looks to maybe. Excuse me. What am I saying? BYUN did this build last game. This is the drop he went with. It was TY. That actually on this map that went for that 5 Marine 1 Widowmine drop. It didn't really work out well for him, but it was an idea. BYUN, of course, going with the more tried and true option. With 3 Widowmines, requires a little bit less work from him, a little bit less micro, and it allows him to do some pretty nice damage. Now we do have 2 more gates here going on down as the third base just about completed. Zest working on now establishing his economy, establishing everything. And now that this medevac's not going to get anything done. Barely survives itself. Barely survives the volleys. Now the Widowmines, they're going to burrow. All right, so Zest is going to wait for Blink to come off with cooldown here, and should be looking to just blink the Widowmine. There we go. Widowmine's going to go down, and BYUN getting nothing done with this. Nothing done at all. And man, it's kind of funny. What was it? 4-ish years ago? I forget who did it, but there was a. When players first realized that you could blink Widowmines. I remember there was a post on Reddit about it. Like, look how incredible this micro is. Look how incredible this player is for figuring this out. And, I mean, they weren't wrong then, they weren't wrong now, but it's kind of funny how we just kind of consider that the expectation at this point, as now, yeah, Zest is not going to get anything done with there. He's going to be forced to back out, but luckily, not losing a Stalker. And behind this, we don't see the Colossus build once again. We see more and more gates getting added here. Zest, once again, on 3 gas, as he has Charge on the way, eventually we'll have +1 on the way, but a Forge on the way, and Immortals. So Zest, he's picking up what BYUN's putting down. He sees that there is no third. He can assume that this is what BYUN is going to try to do, because it's what BYUN looked for last game. And more importantly than that, it is just what Terrans have been doing in probably 80% of TVZs. You get a delayed third base somewhere at around 6:30, right as you get ready to move out. And there we have the bunker is unsieged, or the bunker is salvaged. Therefore the Terran is moving out, or just about. And there we have it with the tank unsieged. It's going to be a good position. So, Well, ZEST looks like he's aware of this, as he does have a bunch of zealots, well, 3 zealots and an adept all warped in or picked up here into this medevac or into this warp prism. And as soon as BYUN moves out of the map, ZEST is going to swoop on in and try to eviscerate a mineral line. And I do like his chances, because as they say, the best offense is a good, or the best defense is a good offense. Now ZEST getting ready to move on in here. Now, he's not going to be able to release waylay this. Well, there's just not a lot of stalkers, not yet. But now we have the warp prism coming on in here. And we may just see a massive warp in of things coming on in. But no, it looks like with the defense that ZEST had, or that that BYUN has left, well, not really a whole lot. But now, of course, BYUN, he's going to stim once and spend a decent amount of his medevac energy. But the warp prism will, well, sorry, not the warp prism, the Widowmine will burrow down and will just get killed immediately. So that's not all that effective. Now ZEST is going to blink forward, and he will get the tank. And that means this push is so much less effective than it once was. You do need those tanks, generally several tanks, to make your push as effective and useful as you would like. Now ZEST, he's just sharking around here. I really like this. So of course, you see the warp prism is not just sitting outside of the main, just not sitting outside the natural, looking to maybe get some damage done. Although it looks like that's what he wants to do right now. It's sitting here, ideally, at the flank of BYUN's army. So we may see a significant warp in, a massive 8 zealot, 10 zealot flank, crashing into the side or underbelly of BYUN's army here. Now ZEST, he will find this command center that is being built and do a fairly decent amount of damage to it. But more importantly than that, he will delay it as the SCV does go down. Where is our warp? There's our warp prism. So look at ZEST is setting up such a massive surround here. Now he's looking to do what he can, target down some widow mines, and both widow mines just barely survive. But now here's the surround coming in. Zealots are going to get on top of everything. Now, of course, stalkers are coming from behind here. +1 is done on both sides. While the widow mines are going to be really good, but I don't know if it's going to be good enough here. Although the force fields are really kind of screwing ZEST out of his own fight. As, yeah, he tries to land some force fields to make sure that he get on top of the army, but instead, he's blocked away from said army here. As other stalkers, they're going to blink around, and BYUN's just going to micro on top of him. He says, I can't really fight the front army, but I can fight the side. As that widow mine does go up here, not doing a lot, not killing anything, but doing significant damage to these immortals, knocking off all their shields. And I don't know how much ZEST is really going to be able to do to continue to push on into here. The army is not massive. BYUN's up 20 army supply. And with the Widowmine shots here, that's making life rather difficult for our red Protoss player. But hey, now we have more and more warpins, tons of sentries. ZEST looks to bisect the army, to trisect it, to cut it up into tiny little bite-sized pieces, and slowly nosh it over a glass of wine. Pleasant company at the dinner table. But ZEST, he's going to keep jockeying position here in the middle of the map, as he's going for double Colossi behind this. So he's rapidly going to have an incredibly powerful fighting force on top of the strong fighting force that he already has. Extended Thermal Lance is just about halfway done, and when we see, well, we have 2 Colossus on the map, and there are absolutely no Vikings. And this is, I don't believe this is something that BYUN has spotted either. He's going for Liberators to try to hold this, which are decent against what ZEST has shown. It's decent against Blink Stalkers, decent against Zealot, Chargelets, and Immortals and all that, because they just don't shoot up. I guess the Blink Stalkers do, but there's plenty of the army there to buffer. But these are 2 Colossus here, and 2 Colossi absolutely shred Bio, as so many of the Widowmines are going to go down immediately. The time of the Widowmine is now over, sir, as the Colossi, they rain fiery hell from above. Looks like 2 Widowmines will be effective here. But looks like ZEST, look how strong his army is. And yes, there are Liberators sieging up, but there are enough Stalkers here to just target it down. Wouldn't even be surprised to see the Stalkers blink forward. The Marauders, they're trying to do what they can. The Stalkers, they're going to blink forward, just getting on top of everything. The Liberator goes down. Now there are more and more charge slots reinforcing here. What does BYUN have left? Looks like he really doesn't have much left at all. Although the supply tells a slightly different story. 47 army supply to 51, but it is well, we have an SCV coming on in here. SCV pull coming on in, and there's only 1 force field, but that is already a small enough choke, as so many SCVs are going down, and GG ZEST is going to take game number 2. What a game from ZEST there. Finding those little openings, removing the Widow Mines, not taking any damage from them whatsoever. And then, hey, he goes on into the mid game. He gets damage done with his Blink Stalkers. I mean, not initially, but close enough. He holds the attack. He gets tons of damage done with his Warpins, with his Warp Prism Warpins. And then, just stuff happens. But hey, you know what this means? You know what both players taking a map in this series means? It means it is rubber match time. Map number 3 on Romanticide. So let's do it. And here we are, spawning in the bottom right. In the blue, the teamless Terran player. Give it up for BYUN. And in the upper left, in the red, for Razor Edge Gaming, he is the one, the only, ZEST. And the biggest question that we must ask ourselves here is, what in the world is ZEST going to be doing in this game number 3? Well, he does have a probe already out on the map. I don't believe this is Proxy Void Ray. Again, this was not a 12 pylon. I believe it was a 13 or 14 pylon. So nothing new there, nothing crazy. ZEST just content with playing a stock standard style. Now there is an avenue here that maybe he goes for the aggressive max packs. So there's the normal max packs where you just build your single gate across the map. And there's an aggressive version where you build a gate cyber at home, but also a gate abroad and start rallying stalkers across the map. But yeah, that's not what ZEST is going to be doing here either. And that is A-okay. It just means we get a longer game. It means we get a more epic game between ZEST and BYUN. It means we get a more dynamic one. And hey, I don't think anyone's going to be complaining about that. I certainly am not. Man, this portion of the StarCraft theme check really sounds like the League of Shadows music from The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. The Hey Shay's Haas. I think it was called Ascent, when the music, the part of the music that they play, or it's like the musical background on the music they play when Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul's daughter, and Bruce Wayne are both trying to get out of the pit, that pit prison, and of course that's one of the musical themes for the entire movie. That's kind of with that deep, the horns and the deep drums, very, very reminiscent. Although, of course, StarCraft came out far before. Well, yeah, no, it came out fairly significantly before The Dark Knight Rises, which, by the way, is a great movie. Maybe not as good as The Dark Knight, but certainly an incredible movie and one I absolutely enjoy going back to time to time. But actually, well, hold the thoughts. We do have this adept. It's gonna come on in, say, "Hey, what's up, buddies?" Nothing at all. Nothing here. Nothing to see here. Nil noe sub soli. But yeah, as I was saying, talk about things we're watching or not watching. I actually need to get caught up on The Expanse. The new season has come out, and my roommate is very into it. I'm pretty into it too, but I've been busy with working on this massive presentation for NASA that's been pretty much occupying every minute of my day that I'm not casting. So I'm not really able to. I haven't been caught up to it. I believe there are 5 episodes out already. I think it's going to be a total of 8 or 10 episodes in the season. So I very much need to get caught up, and I guess I'm probably going to be able to do that over Christmas time, hopefully. But that is if you have not seen that series, highly recommended. It is most excellent. ZEST going for a faster third Nexus. Yeah, this third Nexus is going down at about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. ZEST saying, hey, you know what? You haven't done anything stupid aggressive. You haven't gone for like a Massa build where you get 2 factories super early and you go for a 4 tank push with a Marine rally. You're not doing anything that really is going to punish my quick third base here, and not in this series, and that's not how you play in general. So yeah, I'm going to take a 3-minute third Nexus. Or 3:30 third Nexus. Because that just seems to make sense. Now we have a double Widowmine drop coming on in here. BYUN sacrificing potential damage for speed, as he will get into ZEST Natural at just about 4 minutes and 35 seconds. And that is, well, that's going to be before any observers out, but that also means there's not a whole lot of units on the map here. But there are stalkers right in position, and the stalkers, well, they're going to try to target the, nice blink there. This is so well handled from ZEST. I hadn't noticed that blink was done. So he goes. He has 4 stalkers perfectly in position there. Of course, just targeting down the medevac, because he knows he can blink over the warp. He can outblink the warp prism, and as he does so, well, then that means the Widowmine is exposed, so he's going to be able to take that out as well. So ZEST taking absolutely 0 damage from this medevac, this Widow Mine drop. And generally, you would see the drop take 2 or 3 probes, maybe even more, depending on how good the Protoss players' splits are. But no, ZEST taking not even a single point of HP in from that drop, and that is incredibly well played from our red Protoss players. Now he's looking to maybe make some moves happen with these Blink Stalkers, and now he will just run into the marauding army, the advancing army of BYUN, as BYUN looks to get aggressive here in this third and final game. The bunker has been salvaged. And well, we talked about it before. You do know what that means, but actually, BYUN can't be aggressive here, not at all. So I'm sitting here. Yes, it's just about the timing where +1's just about to be done. Stim's just gonna be, or Stim's finishing, but Stim is not finishing. As looks like, I don't know whether BYUN forgot it or this is just his build. This is a faster command center than last time. I believe last time he looked to make this push, he got his command center at 7 minutes. But again, I mean, if you're gonna do this and if you're gonna delay the Stim this late, I think you would. I would feel like you would get a 3rd command center, or a faster 3rd command center. But what do I know? BYUN is an incredible player, and I just talking about the game, so I know nothing. Jon Snows. Now we have the Raven coming on in. The Raven that maybe would have helped with the push, but ZEST honestly has not been going for builds that care about Ravens from a pushing perspective. I mean, I guess the Dorito Cannon anti-armor missile does something like that, but it looks like, well, this Raven's just going to patrol for the moment, looking for an opportunity where ZEST is not paying attention, then going to go in, drop a couple auto turrets, kill a couple probes, sing a little song, do a little dance. Everything like that. Now it looks like ZEST here is getting ready to maybe turn on the taps of his own aggression. Now Stim is just about done. Finally, Stim will be done by 7:30, but that is a late push timing for what BYUN has tried to do here, and I cannot help but worry that he has just maybe been a little bit too slow. He forgetting Stimmers. I mean, I don't know. It looks like it's just a build, but it very much feels like it. But based off timing, it does very much feel like this is a forgotten Stim. Whatever the case may be, it does mean BYUN does not hit that 6:30 +1 Stim combat shield timing that Terrans have been looking for so much. So now he's going to look to move out at somewhere around, well, he's going to look to hit somewhere around 8 minutes maybe, but 8 minutes? Oh man. ZEST has been mining off 3 bases, been mining off 70 probes for so long now. He has +1, he has charge, he has even if not superior army supply, he has Storm already done here. BYUN, he's found the position that he's looking for. And this is an incredibly scary one, but it looks like ZEST is going to say, to hell with the high ground. I can deal with the moment, as those storms are just going to be disgusting. ZEST or BYUN's entire army is going to go down. We do have some feedbacks on top of the medevacs as well. One will go down, as will the other. And okay, well, BYUN got 7 probes. Actually, 7 probes. But I think most of that was the Raven that just went down in the main base as well. And the outer turret as well. So ZEST is getting on top of things as he bulldogs his Charflus on top of the Terran army here. Doing a good job to save them. Zealot's coming in one at a time as ZEST trying to filter his way through this choke. But I mean, look at the army that ZEST there. He's up 20 army supply. There are no High Templar at the moment. They've all been turned into Archons. But does he really need Storm? I mean, you always need Storm. But does he really need Storm in this game? I don't think so. Now it looks like BYUN will find one Archon trait and check that off, and that is a rather expensive expenditure for our red Protoss player, but I'm not really sure it matters here. He's up 8 army supply, but at these supplies, the army of ZEST is so superior to the army of BYUN. Now that starts to change once 2-2 gets done, once BYUN gets above 150 supply. But for the moment, the insane amount of charge lots that are in the army of ZEST are absolutely better than what BYUN has. Now BYUN is going to go searching for a fight here, and I don't know how much I agree with that, but look like ZEST will back up for the moment out. He's going to blink forward, try to target some things down, get a couple Marauders, get anything that's gas heavy, get anything that is expensive. And ZEST, for his part, he is prepared to move on into the mid game, into what some would call the late game. We have a second robo on the way, robotics bay on the way as well. And will we see just pure straight to Disruptor here, or will we see 3 to 4 Colossus before that even happens? I don't know. It's very much a stylistic thing here. I don't think any decision is a wrong one in this game, as well. ZEST is pretty far ahead at this point, so yeah, it's gonna be tough for him to make a bad decision and how to beef up his splash damage. Now we do have 2 Colossi on the way. Now BYUN has either scanned that second Robo and scanned the Robo. No, he does. Okay, no, he has not seen it, but he's just aware of the fact that that's about this time in the style that you do get Colossus coming on out of here. So more and more, we're starting to see some Vikings come on out. And now Zest just doing a really good job of posturing. He's going to look to blink on top over these minerals. I don't think that's what he wants to do, though. That's not as the Bio army is right there. And what am I going to go off Zest? Just get triggered off, run away. Because, of course, Zest is best. Anyone who disagrees with you does not know of the magic of Zest, does not know that he is best. And that is the whole goal of today, to educate, as we have so many zealots warped in here on the right-hand side. Now Zest is trying to take his fight at the front as well, and it's not going to be a great one, because that's not... he has so much supply elsewhere. Okay, now the Widowmine's going to go off. And, I mean, it's going to get some shield damage, but that is just about it. Maybe the Charles coming on in 3 storms as well, and these EMPs are actually going to be really good. But the army of Zest, or the army of BYUN, has kind of been situated here, sectioned off into a corner. And there, the first storm is going to land, and it's just going to be so juicy. Second one's not really going to do much. But that first storm was so incredibly juicy, as the Charles is going to go filtering in. Stark is blinking forward. There are just not enough Vikings, not yet. And the Colossi, they are standing strong. Extended Thermal Lance finishes right as this fight starts. What a timing here for Zest. SCVs are getting pulled into Storm, and I'll give you one thought about how well that works for you there. 18, 19, 21, 24 SCVs go down, and Zest, he takes it.